Hi guys, and greetings from Nairobi. This week I'm going to be drawing there's this concept I've had in my mind for a while, and I hope you can hear me because it's really busy outside. There's this concept I've had in my mind for a really long time of a girl with an afro standing in the sunlight, and then like the sun is behind her or like to the side, and then now like you can see the highlights in her hair, like the brown and the reddish highlights in her hair. So I've been looking for the reference images on Pinterest and on Pexels. I'm not really getting what I'm looking for, so in case I don't end up drawing that, just know it'll still be a girl with an afro, because for some reason that's what is on my mind a lot. I don't know if you also get these concepts sometimes in your mind and then you just want to execute them. Anyway, so I don't know if you also get these concepts in your mind and then you just want to execute them, even though it takes a while. So yeah, that's what I want to draw this week. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Do I really care how you're doing though? Anyway, I hope you're all doing okay. It's noisy and busy, and there's a lot of traffic in Nairobi. So I hope you enjoy the video and let's get into it. I'll start with a bit of honesty. When recording voiceovers, that's when you realize that all your neighbors have dogs, all the kids in the neighborhood have decided to go out and play, all the cars and motorbikes are on the road, and it also decides to rain. So that's fun. So as I said before, this week what inspired me was a girl with afro standing in the sunlight. I wasn't able to get the reference that I was looking for necessarily, but I really liked this one because her skin just looked so sun-kissed. And also missed my afro, kind of. I'll leave the link in the description of the reference image and the subject of the photograph in the reference image. When it comes to drawing portraits or painting portraits, I usually have different methods of workflow that I use. Sometimes I normally go straight in by blocking in the different shadings on the skin. Sometimes I start off with a grayscale painting, then add in the colors later on. Sometimes I first of all sketch it out, then put in the colors of the skin. So it all depends. This time round, I first of all started by sketching out the reference image. Then I blocked in the colors in the first layer. For the first layer, sometimes I use the 6B pencil as I did this time, then I smudge it over. Or other times, I normally just go straight in with a soft airbrush. Is it called the airbrush or the soft airbrush? Then I just block in the colors. For this image with the face, there weren't really many features to be captured. It was just a hint of the eyes and the nose and the lips. So I decided to make the lips stand out more on the face and make them look juicy and plump. After placing the first layer using the 6B pencil, I used my smudge tool to blend it all together. After finishing with the smudging and everything, I normally merge my layers for the skin, then I erase any jagged edges that I have on the sides. I wanted the portrait to have a painterly feel to it, so starting out I was torn between using the Nicoral brush and the dry brush or the oil brush, the ones that come default with Procreate. In the end, I decided to go with a dry brush. It can be difficult to work with because it still blends up the colors that you put before on your canvas, but it gave that painterly feel that I was looking for. The caveat is that the highlights need to be added in the end on a different layer so that they're not muddied up by the different layers that you put on before. I placed her halter top, her body and her hair on different layers, and I worked on them separately. When I started out, I used to work with everything on one layer, but with time and also by learning from other different artists, you find a workflow that works for you and that is also easier to manage and handle. There's this misconception that painting digitally or working digitally is much easier than doing it in the traditional method. And I do see why people could say that, because you do have the option of undoing and the option of working in layers. But as someone who came from traditional art and decided to dabble with digital art, trust me, it's not easy at all. There's a lot that has to be thought through. The painting process might be different, but it doesn't make it any easier and it doesn't make it any less of an art form in comparison to traditional art. The hair is always my favorite part to do. For the afro, all you need to do is just go with the curls. The curls might be falling in every single direction, but that's the fun of it. To make them stand out, you normally use a lighter color. Sometimes I picked up the color from her skin or from her top or from some light areas in the reference image within her hair to define the highlights of the curls. And that's what normally defines the curls and makes them stand out. It's a really time-consuming process. For the edges of the hair, I used a combination of still the dry brush with a dark color and the dry brush on the eraser mode to define the edges. On a different layer, I added the shadows of her hair on her face because that makes also the image look a lot more 3D. Final details were to add the jewelry that she had on, like the nose ring and the necklaces that she had on. Then I readjusted the block of gray in the background and played with it to find a shade that I liked. I also added a few strokes of paint on the sides of the drawing just to make it look like a painting. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope that you enjoyed following along to it. It'll be up on Skillshare as a full detailed class later on if you'd like to follow along to everything with voiceovers and details on how I achieved certain things. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video, and share it to your friends who you think might enjoy watching it as well. Till next time.